In other words, what she's saying is chemicals have been used to run me. I'm soaked, tortured, paying rent to get soaked, and threatened with locking me up and calling me nuts if I try to go too far. It doesn't do any good to call the cops, and this is what I'm going to say right here, because law enforcement's doing it, and people would do it anyway, I can assure you. The British, the Germans, and some Americans have helped me, and I always hoped that I could repay them, and I hope I get to repay others for the crimes they've committed, because nobody has even been charged or anything in it. And at this point, I'll go ahead and say it. This God they say they believe in, here comes Britt on here. I like Tim. Yeah, without a trace. Yeah. Anyway, well, I lost my train of thought. I like that program. Um, anyway, I'm going to go back to this. In other words, I'm paying rent when I get money, and this is what happens. I pay rent, and the chemicals get so bad, and I know how they're hurting me, that I have to leave, even if I've paid the rent for for a month or a week, and lose it, and have to go somewhere else and try to pay again. So I'm paying double, lose my what few things I put together, and the food I may have just bought as of right now. I bought the other day. I'm going to lose them. And so that's where I'm going to go this. So I'm paying for the Jews being what was done to them, and in return, they kidnapped me and bring me over here. Took down my father, put a double in, married Wallace Simpson. My own uncle was in on it. The Kennedys, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, Roosevelt, who appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador, and he helped in my kidnapping during that time to England. He and JFK and the older son flew in there and stayed at the very years I was born and kidnapped. How's that? I think there's a connection to the Warren Commission, and by the way, I lived in Warren Apartments and worked for the district attorney in Huntsville, Fred Simpson, as in Wallace Warfield Simpson. There were patterns that were done in the mind control murders. That's when John Lennon was killed, and I'm so sorry for that. He's a decent man who was a believer, and I used to be till I found out that people, at the drop of the hat, if it behooves them, will turn on you. A lot of them will. They certainly have here in this country. But anyway, in other words, I've been made to pay to get soaked with chemicals and my body torn apart. And I'm just going to go to this. And I'm going to read this, and I know how dangerous it is. I put it up once, and the people that own, well, I can try to leave, and I have to come back. The same thing happens after a few days, and I'm run back to Roanoke. So, and now that I can't run anymore, so I don't know what happens, because the state trooper, Barton, said, you better hope that you never get disabled to where you can't get up and leave anymore with what they're doing to me. So anyway, this was in 8/15/14, and I'm going to say this. Bob Goodlatte was the U.S. House of Representative from, he's really from Boston, Massachusetts, but he's from here in Virginia now, and he has an office downtown Roanoke with Virginia State Senator John Edwards. I'm trying to hurry and get this on this, and it'll go off, this video. But anyway, he, at the time, all this was happening, at least part of the time, was over the agriculture department. That is over food stamps, it's over the forestry, and that meant he was over the law enforcement, the rangers that was doing this mess to me. And it's horrible. Okay, and so many times I went in his office and John Edwards, and I went in John Edwards the most because, I mean, he really said that he knew about my kidnapping and my real name, and he also inferred he knew about threatening me to lock me up if I tried to go any further. You can't video fumes making you sick unless you've had the ability to have cameras put up or something and show them coming and spraying your bed and spraying your air conditioning, well, you can do stuff to it that will kill you, and they don't have to spray it. It's already there. There's so many ways that people don't really think about, and you start to tell about it, and if the law has told them to do it, who do you call? I get an attorney, Boswick was his name. He Xeroxed everything. 2 days later, that's what they told me, he's gone. He was with legal aid. So this is what I want to say. These people, and I'll say this again real quick. Good lad, I was walking out of his office the last time, right next to John Edward. I'd been in there. And when I started to get on the elevator, a man motioned for me to hold it. He got on and came out from Goodlat's. He said, if he tries to help you, he'll be living in the woods and the forestry with you. So now then, let's fast forward to now, and I meant to Google it so that I knew. But anyway, Goodlat is on the Intelligence Committee and has been. I think he heads it. He has. And there's a couple others that are very important up there. These people know. And I'm going to mention this. The Shaw and Patels have gotten very wealthy here. In fact, this is the one that's owned I'm in. It's not so nice, and it's really made me so sick till, and it's a joke to them. They'll stand there and tell you they're helping me while they're taking my money, and I'm so sick with chemicals coming out. I moved down here on a Sunday night. I'd stayed at the other room, and it was bad. And I'd stayed up there over and over for quite a few times and months. And it wasn't fun, but it wasn't like this. They moved me down here, or I had to move down here. And I tell you what, my legs, I could walk before then. I can barely walk. My legs are swollen, the veins burn, and it's knots in my legs like blood clots. So anyway, I'm still here. I'm debating, where do I go with if I've got a little money, I'm paying rent on 2 places. I'll say this and get it on here, I hope, and I'll lose a year. I'm looking at where I started getting money in 99, and it's the same place. It was nicer back then. I paid a week because I was getting money, and it was okay. When I got my money, I come back and paid a month. Second day there, second or third, they came in, bombed the apartment next to me, or the room, and then they came in mine, and I said, the insect people, pesticide, and I said, don't come in here, I'm allergic to chemicals with all that. And they did, and I tried getting my money back from this man, and he's been a part of the whole thing. And Patel, they're part of the same corporations. They have amassed so much land here that's so money-wise, right, I mean, they're way up there. It's costly. And they've got motels all over the place. So this is what I wanted. While they're taking my breath away, I can't get fresh air. He just opened a new one here, and they're calling him the entrepreneur and all that. So here's the guest. John Edwards, I just told you about, Senator. Tim Kaine, who I really thought was a good governor, he's now a senator. Mark Warner was a former governor, and I like Tim. He's a senator, I believe, yeah. And Congressman Bob Goodlat's office sent a representative, I believe. It says here, I'm reading it quick. But anyway, these are the people that know about my kidnapping, what I'm going through, and they've gone on with from governor up to senators, and I'm this little slug running around here being threatened if I cry out in pain on what they're doing to me. And they threaten me with either locking me up, that, oh, they're not doing it, or I leave. And I've just told you what happens.